up, my channel? Welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie E. This is Ravenclaw, and you're watching. Welcome to the Joy of Christmas book tag.
Tell me if you're really bad.
This book tag was originally created by Sam of Sam's Nonsense, but I was tagged by the love of my life, Noria of Noria Reads. As you can tell, Christmas is my favorite time of the year. It's my favorite holiday. Halloween comes in clutch at like a close second, but no, there's nothing like Christmas for me. I was really excited when Noria tagged me in the Joy of Christmas tag because I didn't know about it, and tagged us some of my favorite types of videos to film on this channel. The first question is anticipation. The Christmas excitement is real. What book or books are you anticipating? I'm going to shout out 4 books that I'm highly looking forward to in 2020 because there's no way I can pick just one. A Phoenix Must Burn. Now this is an anthology. Wow, English. Okay, we can do this. This is an anthology.
It still sounds weird, Jessie. Okay.
A collection of stories by women and non-binary authors. It's geared toward young adult readers, and it's all about blackness and black girl magic. Oh my gosh. People who have been lucky enough to receive arcs of A Phoenix Must Burn have all absolutely loved it, and just from the cover alone, I'm shook. Then there's We Free the Stars, and I don't know if I have a right to be excited about this book because I did not finish the first book in the series, We Hunt the Flame. However, the reason that I didn't finish it before it was due back at the library is because I was reading it so slowly, and the reason I was reading it so slowly is because I was enjoying the crap out of this book. It was such a phenomenal ride. It's a YA fantasy about this young woman who is a hunter in her town, and she's absolutely legendary in her town for being a hunter, but women aren't allowed to have occupations, so she has to disguise herself as a man. Everybody thinks that this legendary hunter is a man, but it's not. The magic was so cool. The world building was incredible, and I absolutely loved the protagonist. I just know in my heart that there's no way I'm not going to love that book, so I need to finish We Hunt the Flame and read the sequel. The next book is another YA fantasy. This is called Song Below Water, and all I know about this book besides the cover is black mermaids. Black mermaids.
Black mermaids.
I'm so excited. Then we have Mexican Gothic, which is potentially the book I'm most excited about. I believe this is an adult historical fantasy that is set in 1950s Mexico. It's a Gothic horror suspense novel.
So what more could I possibly want?
It's about a brave socialite who goes to this manor called High Place and finds madness and violence. Also, y'all, the cover. Question number 2, Christmas songs and carols. What book or author can you not help but sing its praises? And I don't think this will come as a surprise to anybody, but I'm gonna go with After the Flood by Cassandra Montag. I know that the cover isn't much to look at. This is the arc, and thankfully they realized that this cover was a mistake.
Because it's, oh honey, it's a mistake.
So the finished copies of this book are less horrendous than this cover. I'm sorry, but the cover is so disappointing. And it doesn't at all get you excited for the book, and this book is, I have been raving about it on Twitter. If you want to see a full review of this book, check out my latest wrap-up. This is the first book that I talk about in that wrap-up, so you won't even have to watch it for very long if you don't want to. There's no way that this book won't make my top 10 reads of the year. It's so good. This tag is so cute. The next question is titled Gingerbread Houses. What book or series has fantastic world building? I just love the way that these questions are titled. It's so Christmassy, I adore it. I'm definitely going to be choosing The Bells. Bells is a YA fantasy written by Danielle Clayton, and this book really blew me away. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did, and I just thought that the world building was so fluffy but meticulous. This world is modeled after New Orleans, and you definitely get that New Orleans vibe. There's a lot of French influences, and the magic system is very sensitive. It's subject to a lot of checks and balances before magic can be performed, and I was very impressed by that. I also really love the world building in George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones series. Just the level of detail, the meticulousness, and the amount of history that he put in to each of the civilizations depicted in this series really impressed me. It was one of my favorite parts of reading the series, was getting all of the backstory, not only on on the characters, but on the lands that the characters come from. You would even get backstories on civilizations that are kind of mentioned in passing and no longer really exist, but have some sort of relevancy to the characters of the story today. George R.R. Martin is a fantastic and expert world builder, and I know that there's other critiques for his writing, but his world building definitely does not leave anything to be desired. Question number 4 is A Christmas Carol, a favorite classic or one that you really want to read. I know it's not a Christmas story, but I reread The Little Prince around the holidays just because it gives me that magical holiday atmosphere and vibe. I just actually finished my reread today, and every year I try to reread The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg on the 1st of January. I'm definitely not alone in having fallen in love with this book as a kid. I loved the dark illustrations, the way that everything on the page, the snow, the lights on the train just seem to jump out at you. You really feel like you're on the Polar Express, like you're meeting Santa, like you're going on this grand adventure. And when you get to the part about the bell and the bell only ringing for children, and every time that part of the story moves me so deeply because I feel 100% transported to the first time that I read that book. Like, I remember the bed sheets that I was sitting on, I remember pajamas that I was wearing, how that book made me feel. Rereading it every year just recaptures that feeling for me. I will never be over my love for children's literature. This one isn't going to be a classic, but I have a feeling that it's going to become a classic. I got The Christmas Spirit. I just picked this up from my library. I've been waiting all year to get to read it on Christmas, and I'm so excited to actually have it. Just look how cute. And I found out that because this book was so well received, it's now going to be a series. There's one where she bakes sweet potato pie. I love her afro puffs, and just look at this bright, vivid illustration and that black girl joy. I cannot. Question number 5 is Christmas sweets. What book would you like to receive for Christmas? I honestly don't have any particular book that I really want to receive for Christmas. I would be happy to get literally anything off of my Amazon wish list. Books are honestly the best gift that you can give me. So it doesn't matter what the book is, so long as it's a book I don't hate, I'm gonna be freaking grateful for it, you know? And I feel like that's a sentiment that a lot of us share on BookTube. Question number 6 is Candles in the Window. What is a book that gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling? Now, I literally just finished my annual reread of A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. This is such an amazing trilogy, and it's all about how Saint Nick as a little boy grew up to become Santa Claus. And Matt Haig gave Saint Nick a horrible backstory. Like, this little boy went through hell and back before he got to become Santa Claus. And I love the audiobook because it's narrated by Stephen Fry, who's absolutely amazing. But I'm also about to finish The Stars and the Blackness Between Them, and this book is giving me such feels. I'm listening to this on audio. I'm also reading it as I go along, but the audiobook definitely takes the cake. It's read by the author, and Janata provides such atmosphere. The relationship between these two girls, watching them blossom, watching these girls come into their own, develop feelings for one another, the celebration of their own black girl magic and heritage. The themes in this book are so powerful. I've been listening to the audiobook all day as I run errands, and it's honestly put me in the greatest mood. Question number 7 is Christmas tree decorations. What are some of your favorite book covers? Y'all, the names of these questions are amazing. I actually have a little stack of my favorite book covers right here to show you. I really love the cover of Gods of Jade and Shadow, which I haven't read and really hope I can get to in 2020. The cover of Sabrina and Karina is Latinx magic embodied. I love how warm the colors are, and the profile just absolutely stunning. I'm a really big fan of anthologies. I know a lot of us aren't big fans of anthologies on BookTube, and that's part of the reason why I'm so excited for A Phoenix Must Burn and why I'm so excited to finally get to this book. And if you don't know, this is a collection of indigenous Latinx stories that center women. The cover for With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. This book was featured in my 8 books that wasted my time video, but I did really enjoy certain aspects of it, and that doesn't keep me from appreciating the cover each and every day. The Bear Book. Naked and gorgeous.
I thrive and I live for this cover.
I think that the blues complement this person's skin tone so incredibly. Everything about this book cover, from the silhouette to the use of colors and imagery, is perfect. This is another book that is high on my TBR, but I haven't read yet. And yes, I did buy this book exclusively for the cover. And probably my 2 favorite covers of 2019, Let's Go Swimming on Doomsday and Queenie. When I first saw this cover, it gave me chills. The art is
Phenomenal. perfection.
And again, we have a beautiful silhouette and the twist, and I love how her twist is wrapping around the U. It took me forever to realize this. This is actually the Waterstones UK special edition. You can only get this edition of Queenie through Waterstones, and one of my best friends was kind enough to gift this for me very recently, and it's even freaking signed. Now, this was one of my favorite books of the year. This book is incredible, and you're definitely gonna hear me talk about it in my favorites videos. FYI, I'm probably gonna be making like 3 or 4 favorites videos because I just have so many books that I want to spotlight. And finally, question number 8 is Christmas joy. What are some of your favorite things about Christmas and or your favorite Christmas memories?
Wow, okay.
The fact that my mother would always play Mariah Carey's original Christmas album when we opened presents at midnight on Christmas Eve, staying up until midnight on Christmas Eve, no matter how tired I was, so that we could open presents. My mother trying and failing desperately to hit those high classic Mariah Carey notes. Just seeing my family so happy and getting along, and then going to bed knowing that in the morning, Christmas morning, my mother would make this big, amazing breakfast. My mother was a chef. She's just the best cook in the entire world. And knowing that when I woke up, I would feel magic. Like, as cheesy as that sounds, there is a specific brand of joy that I feel on Christmas Day, and that joy has never left me even as I grew up. I'm definitely going to be missing my mother's Christmas cooking this year, but this year I'm going to be doing my own Christmas cooking since I'm unfortunately not going to get to see her. I'm going to be making her famous stuffed mushrooms recipe, my abuela's famous enchiladas recipe, and then I'm also going to be making moria soñado, which I'm so excited about. And of course, I will be rewatching Jim Carrey's The Grinch because we watch that every year as a family. This tag was an absolute blast. I'm gonna try and do it again next year. Thank you so much, Noria, for tagging me in this because otherwise I wouldn't have even known about it. Y'all, I love this community. Being a part of BookTube has made my life much more meaningful. Thank you so much for being a part of my Dapper family. I honestly cannot wait to see where Bow Ties and Books goes in 2020, and I'm so glad to know that y'all are with me for the ride. So stay sharp, and I will see you in my next video.